Public Advisory. GPL is coming to you. The Guyana Power and Light Inc. wishes to advise our valued customers within the Providence community and neighboring environs that GPL will be hosting a community outreach on Saturday, March 13th, 2021 at Massey Stores, Providence, East Bank, Demerara from 9 hours to 1400 hours. Residents are encouraged to come with your questions or queries regarding GPL bill or any other GPL related matters, as GPL's competent staff will be on site to assist customers at the point of their need. Hashtag GPL is on the move. For more information, call GPL's call center on 226-2600 or contact GPL's Public Relations Unit on 225-1471.
Hi, good night, and welcome to the Lall Show. I am the moderator for tonight's proceedings. At this point, Mr. Lall, the publisher of Kaieteur News, will take us through another discussion about the management of our wealth. Mr. Lall, right to you.
Kemal, thank you. Kemal, wrong is wrong. Even if anyone is doing it, it doesn't matter if your leader is doing the wrong things, you must not follow them. Right is right. Even if no one is doing it, if you know it's right, you will stand up and say it. Even if your leaders are not doing the right thing, trust me, you do the right thing. Those are the words of a great monk, and I am in full agreement with him. So, Kemal, please don't forget that. Right is right and wrong is wrong. A very good night and a very special night to all my listeners. Thank you for listening. I think I need to talk less and interact a little more. So, guys, I want to hear from you. The phone lines will open and you can call or text us. Or you can even WhatsApp us on 6222222. I want to hear from those guys that call me from Iconi and on the Essequibo coast a few days ago. So the lines will be open, guys. If you don't call me, then I will continue talking. But like I said, I want to give you the opportunity to let's gaff. Let's talk about our wealth and what the leader is doing with it. Isn't that sound good, Kimo?
Yes, sir.
That's a beautiful offer I'm giving. Yes, and I also have two friends with me here who has willingly come to join to have this discussion. So let's get straight into tonight's business. Our money, our life, and our future, they are all at stake. And there are lots of things you need to know. Suriname and them oil blocks. By now, you guys know oil blocks all over the world worth billions of US dollars. But how you treat it, how you handle it, the deals you make with it will depend whether we suck salt, we suck weed, or we see a bright future for ourselves and that of our children and grandchildren. We give away our oil blocks for free. We give away the Stabroek block to ExxonMobil for nothing. Them shy 18 million US at us. We can't even buy candy for we children to eat and calling it signing bonus. Then you got the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks that were also given away, signed away for free. That is what both governments, the PPP and the coalition, wants us to believe. I don't. I will never ever believe them give away our oil blocks for free. Never. You know, nobody gives away anything for free in this world. Nobody. You know, if you know anybody who gives away things for free, please call me. I need to know them, because there are lots and lots of poor people who can't even buy milk for their children in this country. So please don't forget to call me. My number is 624-6456, and I answer it all the time. I am on the program, I just put it on silent. I want you to listen to this. We don't even give away our own children things for free, much less a stranger. This world, I've grown to learn it. It's a dog-eat-dog place we're living in. Please, don't forget that. I come through the ranks, and I know it. Growing up in Stabrook Market, I know a lot about life. Suriname got 8 oil blocks. Them want to sell. One of the things them said before them even put it on the international market for sale is that them will give preference to any oil companies that teach them country. Yes, to teach them people how to operate oil blocks. Meaning, down the road, when Surinamis learn the business, them don't need no foreigners to work their oil fields. Them gonna do it themselves and make all the money for themselves. You see how smart these people are? Them looking out for their citizens, and they're preparing the way for them future. What did we get from ours? Nothing. What did we ask for? Nothing. What are we preparing for? Nothing. Oh, no, sorry. I'm so sorry to say this. Yes, I'm sorry. All our leaders ask for is jobs. That's the only thing you hear from these leaders' mouth. Jobs. The cleaning jobs, wash down the ships, and cook food for the workers. That is what our leaders, all of them, settle for with this massive oil fine we have. We can't learn nothing more than that, much less teaching us like what our neighbor Suriname is asking, how to operate oil blocks. You just gotta stick. You gotta just stick with the cleaning jobs. I hope you guys not sleeping on me right now. It's too early. The 8 blocks Suriname got, the 8 blocks them got up for sale. Listen this. It spanned a total of 13,500 square kilometers in the Guyana-Suriname basin. That same oil basin where ExxonMobil and partners find in excess of that 9 billion oil equivalent barrels. You hear that, guys? Suriname done sell one and got 100 million. Them also get 6% royalty and 30% in tax collections. Plus, them have 20% participating interests in it. And they're not afraid to call the shots. Them say international oil companies still flocking them for the rest of the oil blocks. You hear me, guys? Suriname says oil companies got to pay all exploration costs. In Guyana, we tell Exxon we gonna pay. Now you know what we have? We have over $1 billion US. Them throw at us for exploration costs. And more is coming as they go ahead in the oil blocks, in the oil fields. $1 billion US is 3/4 of this year's budget. We don't owe them on that alone. Suriname said plain and straight, them type of cost, you have to put that in your pocket and keep it right there. You see that? That is the smart leaders we have in Guyana. Them is the kind of smart people we have making deals in our gold fields, timber, bauxite fields, and now our oil. That's the kind of leaders we have. Let me stop here and hear from you. There is lots more I can say about Suriname and the way them handling their oil blocks. Them plan to rake in hundreds of millions of dollars in signing bonuses from the rest of the oil blocks they're going to put up for sale right now. What we grab? We grab on 18 million. 18 million. Like I said, could barely buy sweets for our children. So the phone lines will be open, 226-7453. So I'll be waiting for a call from you. Or guys, you want to say something there?
In addition to calls, I will also be monitoring the Facebook Live on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook. I will read your comments to Mr. Lall, or I will ask your questions. I will also be monitoring the company phone. You can send me a text or a WhatsApp. That's 622-2222, 622-2222. We have a caller on the line.
Take it.
Good night, caller. I'm Kimal King, and you're on to the Glenn Lall Show on Kaieteur Radio.
Hello?
Yes, caller.
Yes?
Good night.
Good night.
I have a problem, man. I pay out for me meter, Mr. Glenn. And now the man come and send a paper to me. Say I have to pay $197,000, Mr. Glenn. And I am a very poor person. I work $15,000 a week. So you average how long me got to take to receive the $197,000 for pay GPL?
Sir, hold on a moment. I think you might be on to the wrong show. We're on the Glenn Lall Show, and we're talking about oil and gas. Was there a matter you wanted to comment on in that regard?
He wants to say that he's a poor guy out of a job and has a bill to pay. You know, but if I'm to tell him, you know, if he continue listening, he will understand whose pockets his wealth is going into.
I know you too.
Thank you. Thank you, guy.
All right. Thank you very much to that caller. So we're talking about Suriname. And Mr. Lall, I wanted to say, because I've been covering Parliament and so recently, that you would hope that your leaders would be more interested in the management of this sector. But after covering the budget, we don't see the interest, because many of the budget speeches, there was really there was little mention of oil and gas. You only had the Minister of Natural Resources, for whom oil is his portfolio, and the Shadow Minister, Mr. David Patterson, talking about the issue. So, yeah, we need to get to Suriname, but I wonder if our leaders are even
actually
interested in this sector and improving
our leaders can only get interested if the people are educated. If the people doesn't know and can't speak up to them, then you wouldn't hear anything. Because they're happy if we remain dumb. Because they are filling their pockets. And they are very happy to keep the people where they are.
You know, I was actually surprised when you informed me. Actually, I think it was my colleague who wrote the story, Michaela, that Suriname does not usually take up the exploration costs, and we're
don't.
doing that.
Right. And I was so happy. Take it.
Another caller on the line. Good night, caller. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show on Kaieteur Radio.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Yes.
I'd like to ask Mr. Glenn a question. I heard that he said that Suriname received 100 million for the first oil well they sell, right?
Yeah.
The 80 million that Guyana received was for how much oil well?
The $18 million that Guyana received from ExxonMobil is on the entire Stabroek block. We could have gotten so much more. I'll tell you down, if you listen a little more, I'm going to tell you how much we could have gotten. I'm going to do a comparison. But I don't want to repeat myself here, but I wanted some questions on the bonuses. On the bonuses, the 18 million bonus that we received, and you should have asked what they tried to do with it. They tried to hide it from us. They tried to hide that 18 million bonus from us. You know, we have Total. Total is another oil company. Them agreed to pay. Them is the one who pay Apache in Suriname $100 million for a 50% stake. For a 50% stake in the 1.4 million acre oil block in Suriname. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
That money amounted to more than 5 times this jokey $18 million Guyana took from Exxon. For guess what's its size? Suriname is 1.4 million. The Stabroek block is 6.6 million acre. Here a little more. Brazil, we next door neighbor here. After 1 year, we collected that 18 million bonus. Brazil collected 700 million from ExxonMobil for almost the same size of block what Guyana has out there, Stabroek block. You know, we did a story just after that, in which we reported and we see comments from people, from politicians. And I remember we had a comment from a lawyer, Mr. Nigel Hughes. He's a very smart lawyer. You know, he had some very powerful and beautiful words to say about that same Exxon block. I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
I'm not hearing anything. You're not hearing anything? This, play some.
Thank you for listening to the Glenn Lall Show. I am the moderator, Kimal King, and we're having a discussion about the management of our oil wealth. We just came off because of a technical difficulty, but thankfully we are back on. And we have been talking about how well Suriname has been managing its oil sector and what it has been doing to get the most value from the sale of its oil blocks. Mr. Lall, before we continue that discussion, I noticed a question on the Facebook Live that I think you should address. This person wants to know, why is Glenn Lall so negative? They say I've never heard him say anything positive to come on as if he has a solution for this issue. Would you like to respond?
I like that question. I am not negative, my friend. Everything about the oil deal is negative and out to leave us poorer than we are right now. So if there is anything good you find or you see or the leaders see, I would like them to come on air and defend what I am saying. I can't see nothing. There is nothing whatsoever positive about our oil deal, our oil contracts, and our wealth. Nothing. All I'm seeing is all our oil wealth and resources belongs to foreign people and that of the people who are giving them it away. So if you can find anything positive, my friend, I would love for you to call in and tell me what is positive about this oil deal. Thanks anyway. Can I continue?
Go ahead.
All right. I was talking about when contacted Nigel Hughes, what he had to say, right? And he said, I'll quote him, how is it possible that 250 years after the Berbice uprising, 175 years after the abolition of slavery, and 100 years after the end of indentureship, we all on our own end up voluntarily accepting US 18 million bonus and 2% royalty on a 2.4 billion barrel field. When we knew the oil experts were saying we were potentially sitting on a 10 billion barrel field. Nigel Hughes said, the man said, small change or no change. We have drawn a very bad card. Better must come. I am so in agreement with him on that. Better must come, and it must come quickly and fast. You know, it has been said that Donald Ramotar and Robert Passad ignored advice from GGMC, the regulators, to have the government facilitate competitive bidding to get Guyana's oil block C, after at least 4 oil companies had shown interest in that area. You know, 2 of them was Repsol from Spain and Royal Dutch Shell from the Netherlands. Both are major international oil players, guys. And this was announced during the time by a source. The people tell them, Donald and Robert, but what? Them had their own idea or tricks up their sleeve. Global Witness, an international organization that go around the world and scrutinize bad oil contracts. Oil contracts in general, whether good or bad. Them say the poor terms in our oil contract would cause Guyana to lose 55 billion US dollar, American dollar, over the life of the contract. It has even criticized Guyana leaders for the part they played in the signing away of this massive concession to ExxonMobil and partners. Despite facing international and local condemnation, the organization said neither of the two political parties show interest in securing a better terms for Guyana. Not Glenn Lall said that, an international organization who investigated our oil contract said that. A matter of fact, ExxonMobil has even boasted that it has received the blessings, hear that? The blessings from both PPPC and APNU, that the contract will remain intact the same way, and that its projects will allow to move forward. Wow, you hear that? Both of them said that. God bless them, man. God bless them. You know, I'm just trying to be nice and friendly here. You don't want to know what's going through my mind for these leaders. But I'll pray for God to bless them too. Let me hear you guys.
All right, let me just remind the persons who are listening and who are watching on the Facebook Live, you can comment your questions and your comments on the Facebook Live. You can text me or WhatsApp me at 622-2222, or you can call at 226-7453. We have a caller on the line. Good night, caller. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show on Kaieteur Radio.
Hey, good night.
Good night.
What I made to understand that we hoping to get a monthly report about the oil deal.
Yes.
Mr. Glenn Lall,
Yes, sir.
in the late 80s, I could remember I was working in the Kaieteur River on a dredge. And when time to report the production, give the production report, I know for certain there were 2 books. The report were made. The bossman getting the right report.
Yes, the right figures.
And yes, and the report that for pay the royalty, that is a next book. Say like if we make a pound of gold, the bossman getting the report. But the report to pay the royalty, well, 12 ounces, 1 pound, you might get 4 ounces on the royalty. I would like to know whenever this report is coming about this oil, how much books we will have.
That's an excellent question.
That's
There-
an
there is
excellent
one.
question, my friend.
And my father had he's from up in the interior. He have a gold claim. And you got to say this mineral is the same thing like the oil to me, because this oil claim. And people would come to his claim for position to work, right? And he would tell them, yes, give them permission to go and prospect on his claim. And if they do not find mineral, he do not have to pay them for the cost, whatever they incur on the self. If they do find mineral, they will have to pay him a royalty.
Yes, that's correct.
And if they act dishonestly, he would put them off at the claim, even though they find the mineral on his claim.
Correct.
They need to come right.
Correct.
So what I am saying, he is just a normal person. And he is not accepting stubbornness from, well, remember now, stubbornness for dishonesty. with people who want to work his claim, or even if he have somebody looking after his claim and they want to act a double role with the other, he wouldn't tolerate that. They would have to come. I think it's the same thing with this aisle thing. The only way, the same thing with the aisle deal.
It's a little different from the oil, from the gold and the oil business. What we had before, what we had signed on to is an agreement that the oil companies would come here in search of oil. If they don't find anything, they pack up their trap and Guyana pays nothing.
Yeah, but then if they put down their drill and these things and they do fine, and they get in off this aisle, we still got to pay them for that expense.
Well, that's the question that's the thing I was just about to tell you.
Well, that's
We
my fault.
we were not supposed.
If a man brings down dredge and you go and prospect.
Wait a moment. We were not supposed to be paying that money, but for some reason we don't know what game played out there, and the leaders of this land decided to observe that cost. I don't know why they accept it. I just talked about Suriname. Suriname said, no, you keep that and put it in your pocket. But we accept that, which is total madness. And we, when they discovered oil, we were supposed to sit down and negotiate the right royalty, like you said.
Yes.
And demand a fair share. But I don't know, like I said it many times, I don't know what going through these leaders' head and why they sign 1% and 2% royalty. I don't know that. But I know we get robbed, and I know we can fight, we can stand up, we can speak up, and we can demand a better share of it. And people like you have to listen and come on board.
Exactly.
So that we can have one voice.
Yeah, I know. Well, my advice to you is keep banging.
Thank you.
And I want to make two things that old people say, right? Old people always saying book is going well every day. One day his bottom will drop out.
I so agree with you.
The other saying is that old people say that all smart fly. I wouldn't use the raw word.
Thank you.
But they say all smart fly does get like a cow bamzi.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
Because of this program, I don't want to use the real word what the old people use.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Keep banging.
Thank you. I will not say banging. I will continue to let the people know what I learned and what I can help you guys with. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for that caller. That was extremely insightful.
Yes.
I think when I heard that caller talking about the equivalent in the mining industry, it reminded me of, it brings me back to two important issues in the oil sector with regards to reporting and monitoring. It's important for us to get the oil reports so that the people can always keep track of what's happening. But this guy, he also made me think of the importance of verifying what they're reporting to us.
Exactly. We have talked that so many times.
Yes. So that's
Because
extremely important.
We are just accepting a report. We have nobody there checking for us. And I find that insane.
Yes.
I find that very, there isn't a word to explain what's going on here with our wealth. And I don't want to continue talking about that anymore. We have to find checkers. We got to get people.
Yes.
We got to spend money. We got to call on our leaders to spend money.
That's
to
right.
put a monitoring
System in place.
in place so that we can monitor every drop of oil coming up there. Instead, our leaders are putting money in and stealing it from on different projects on bridges and roads and
Right.
stellings and stuff like that. They have to put the money where we can see our wealth, how it's going away, how much they're really stealing.
Yes.
Because as of now, we are not seeing anything.
Okay. So we're going to go on a brief break, but before we do, I just wanted to also address the comment that I saw on Facebook. Look, we are journalists, and our job here is to hold the government accountable and to be transparency advocates. There is an organization called the Department of Public Information, and that's what the government uses to make itself look good. So if you want to read a publication that is there to make the government look good, go read DPI. And I'm not trying to be rude, but what I'm saying is this is my job as a journalist to hold the government accountable, and that means pointing out the fibs in the system and what the people are doing wrong. So if you're a person that wants to know, if you want to hear it raw from Glenn Lall and Kemal King and Kiana Wilberg and Michaela Prince about how the sector should be managed, if you don't want somebody who's going to kiss up to the government, then you listen to Kaieteur Radio. And if you want someone to kiss up to the government, read DPI. So
Thank you. Thank you.
yes. So we're going to go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Public advisory. GPL is coming to you. The Guyana Power and Light Inc. wishes to advise our valued customers within the Bell West community and neighboring environs that GPL will be hosting a community outreach on Saturday, March 6, 2021 at the Bell West Masjid, Canal Number 2, West Bank, Demerara from 9 hours, 14 hours. Residents are encouraged to come with questions, queries regarding GPL bill and or any other GPL related matter, as GPL's competent staff will be on site to assist customers at the point of their need. GPL is on the move.
Public advisory. Major planned maintenance on Saturday, March 6, 2021 on the east bank of Demerara from Back Street Grove and Avenue A Diamond to 3rd Street Craig from 9 to 15 hours. The reason for the outage is to connect line and load side of auto recloser and transfer high voltage HV mains and lines hardware to new poles and remove old poles. And did you know that weekly planned maintenance allows for routine inspection and maintenance of the network to provide customers with a reliable supply of electricity? GPL, empowering you.
Public advisory. GPL is coming to you. The Guyana Power and Light Inc. wishes to advise our valued customers within the Providence community and neighboring environs that GPL will be hosting a community outreach on Saturday, March 13th, 2021 at Massey Stores, Providence, East Bank, Demerara from 9 hours to 1400 hours. Residents are encouraged to come with your questions or queries regarding GPL bill or any other GPL related matters, as GPL's competent staff will be on site to assist customers at the point of their need. Hashtag GPL is on the move. For more information, call GPL's call center on 226-2600 or contact GPL's Public Relations Unit on 225-1471.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good evening, and if you're now joining us, you're listening to the Glenn Lall Show right here on Kaieteur Radio, where we tell it as it is. My name is Michaela Prince, and I'm just taking over from my colleague Kemal King. Let me just remind the listeners and the viewers that you can call us on 226-7453, and you can text and not call the 622-2222 number because a lot of people call it, and we can't take those calls. So you can send your text or your WhatsApp there. Before we continue the discussion, or rather, I'd like to ask Mr. Lall a question. We have one from our in our WhatsApp here, and the question to you, Mr. Lall, is whether we have any more oil blocks for sale, and if so, what is the process you'd like to see in the awarding of those blocks?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes, we do have. We have Block C, and we also have blocks that sits in these oil companies' hands that they will have to relinquish back. That will come back to us, and when it come back to us, I hope they don't take it and just do the same thing, give it away, like they did with the rest. They throw it in the open market on tender, so we can look for the best buyer, and we can also demand signing bonuses and whatever we want from them, just like what Suriname and Brazil and all these countries demand. They demand participating interests, taxes, and everything. The whole book. We can demand it. So they will be blocks to be relinquished, and we can garner some cash back from them.
That is a very important point, and I'm not sure if you discussed it earlier, but the selling of the blocks is something that Suriname has adopted, as they sold 8 blocks, or they are about to auction out.
I talked about it.
Yes. So it's glad. Well, I hope if we take a page out of Suriname's book and get some money, because people want these blocks. We have billions of barrels out there. So, do you have anything else?
Yes, I wanted to. If there isn't any other telephone call coming in,
we have a caller.
Okay.
Yes, we have a caller on the line. Hi, good evening. You're on to Kaieteur Radio.
Yes, I really enjoy your program.
Thank you.
And it is so kind of mind-boggling. I must say that, because the things that just heard from Mr. Glenn Lall is really, really great news. And what I would like him to do, as a Guyanese and a listener, I would like him to ask our Honorable President, Mr. Irfan Ali, and our Vice President to have a one-on-one conversation with Mr. Glenn Lall. I really love Mr. Glenn Lall, Robertson He. What the hell they did with our isle. I want Mr. Glenn Lall talk this thing more in the public view. And let a guy hear what these people do with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. All right. I am inviting everyone, and let's don't blame the PPP alone or the government. The APNU AFC government, they were and still is part of the big problem. But now that we have a government in place, I would love to I have been inviting all of them to come and let's have these type of frank discussion. Tell us where you are on these issues. Tell us if we would die hungry without getting our fair share. So I like the caller. The caller is asking very serious question. Where are they? That guy sent in his comment asking if I don't have anything good to say. I have nothing good to say, because there is nothing good in these contracts. Nothing. You know we have Lisa 1 pumping oil. Lisa 2 will come very soon. Payara, which is Lisa 3, I just call it Lisa 3, so people don't get confused and mix up, will join the pumping. Them 3 bill alone Guyana got is 18 billion American dollars. You understand what is 18 billion American dollars? In cost. Then they talk about a 4th pumping coming to us, meaning a 4th Lisa coming to us with another huge bill. Just the other day, Exxon and his partner is in full speed, considering the 5th ship, Lisa 5 now. Lisa 5. They may even complete Lisa 4, but they're jumping on 5. You hear that? They're on a roll to clean up. Before you even go to bed. You need to follow and listen carefully, guys. Them done with 3 already, and only 1 pumping. And that 3, them hand us a bill for $18 billion. 2 days ago, Kaieteur News carried a story from a press conference Exxon had, and them talking about the 6th Lisa now to begin pumping in 2027. You hear that? They're talking about 6. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're talking about 6 already. And this is only 2 days ago at a press conference. With that 6, Guyana bill will reach 50 billion American dollars or even more. And when they're in place and begin pumping, Lisa. So you have Lisa 7, 8, 9, and 10. What do you think will happen? With that 10, Guyana will have no less a bill than 100 billion American dollars in costs on rigs and ships out there. 100 billion American dollars, guys, is 75 years of Guyana budget. That's the kind of oil they will carry away in just ships alone. And what we getting? We getting 2% royalty, when it should have been the other way around. We should have been getting 98%, and them taking 2. Just to let you know, guys, royalty around the world begins, it starts at no less than 5% and it goes up to 30%. We settle for less than 2. And the guy that sent the message is saying, why I don't have anything good to say. Is any one of you listening to me have anything good to say about what I just said there? The world accepts no less than 5% royalty and it goes up to 30%. And we Guyanese leaders sign less than 2%. Ken Trotman and all the politicians come and explain these things? What business is this, man? Ask your leader. Ask your leader if Guyana will ever see 100 billion in our lifetime from our oil. Ask your leaders, especially the Vice President and President Ali and all the ex-finance ministers. If in any given year the oil we have out there will be able to carry our budget on a yearly basis from the profit. Let them show us the figures. I want to put my last dollar on that. I want to hear from the economists of the entire world. Do the maths, all of them. And see if when they began with those 10 FPSO, if the money Guyana gets will ever be able to cover our yearly budget. I am willing to put my money where my mouth is. What's going on there, guys? What's going on there is like we paying these bloodsuckers to steal our life and those of future generations. Exxon is proud to say them plan for work close with our government to make it a reality. Make the 10 Lisa a reality. Reality for who, guys? For you and me? No, it's for them. You know, we did a check, our own check, and find ExxonMobil will wipe out the proven reserves in Stabroek Block in less than 2 decades. Can anybody deny that? No, they can't. With over 100 billion American dollars in cost for these ships, which we ain't own and will never own. but we have to pay for them. How much money Guyana is getting out of our oil with that, guys? Crumbs. The money Guyana will get every year from that 10 ships will never even, I talked about yearly budget, will not even reach half of a year of our yearly spending. Our budget stands around 1.5 billion. That is the last one, the debate a couple of days ago. 1.5 billion US. That's what it costs. And we will not get half of that, or barely make half of that, to carry we through on a yearly basis with this kind of arrangement we have with the oil. So why are we allowing them to throw us in expenses, buy more ships at humongous inflated costs to get what? Penny? No, man. Why is the government allowing them to buy 10? Why would a government allow anybody to buy 10 combine for cut rice when 2 combine is just good enough? This doesn't make sense, guys. It just doesn't make sense. The 8 combines, the 8 FPSO or the ship, the money for them alone, when you do the maths, is 52 years of Guyana budget. That's the kind of money we throwing away right now up front. Guys, let me ask you, man, you ain't gonna allow a man to buy 10 trucks to fetch your mango out the farm when 2 is more than enough? Man, sometimes I want to believe we gotta check which university these leaders went to. Because what's going on in this land is total madness. This is daylight banditry going on in this land. I always like to talk about mango. You know? The mango should be coming to you. The rice should be coming to you. So is our oil. It gotta come to you, me and you. But the way them going about this deal, it is only designed to rob us all. And when them done with us, we still own the combine, the trucks or the ships. What is going on, man? We are paying for all those $100 billion ships from our oil money. And when that is done, they pick up all the ships and walk away with them. What kind of monkey business this is, Guyana? Why all our leaders allowing this bare-faced thief of our wealth? Can anybody answer that? Let me stop there and take some questions, man.
We have a question here from the WhatsApp. Somebody saying that they unfortunately think that you wouldn't get a lot of support, since history in Guyana has shown that many cases with the ordinary Guyanese have shown little benefits with our resources. How do you respond to that?
I tend to agree with him, and I disagree with him. The reason behind this is that this is what oil companies did to many third world countries. They go in there, and what they are about to do here now, that's what they did there. But the difference between Guyana and those third world countries is that those people did not understand or did not learn, right, anything about a deal that was coming to them. They were all living in hopes that oil fine and we can become rich. Oil fine and we can become rich. And most important, those countries are all ruled by dictators.
Yes.
So they were afraid to speak out.
Yes.
Fear of being brutalized, killed, or jailed.
Yes.
So they had to shut up. And they only shut up because they didn't know. But when they get to realize what they lose out on, many countries, Nigeria, all over, kick up a stink, and changes come about. But changes only come about after 50, 60 years, when leaders would have died and changed, and you get some good ones who say, no, we are not going to take this anymore. The difference with Guyana is that David Granger, we should thank him, and I would forever thank him for that, for release the contract so that we can understand and see what's going on now before they start pumping oil, so that we can begin to edify, educate, teach Guyana as to what we sign on to. And we don't have a dictator running this land. You understand?
Yeah.
So we can speak about it and others can follow. And once they follow, trust me, they're going to get on board, because when people not seeing money in their pockets and they're not seeing a good life, when they're not seeing that they can't buy food and carry home milk for their children, they themselves will get up, stand up and speak out and demand a better share. So that's my answer to that gentleman.
Okay, let me just remind the listeners and the viewers that you can call us on 226-7453. The phone lines are open and we are here to take all of your comments. Or you can just send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 622-2222. We have a caller on the line. Hi, good evening. You're on to Kaieteur Radio.
Hi, good evening, Kaieteur. Mr. Bedler.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm listening to your program before. Here, I would like to say something about what you're saying. What you're speaking is very truthful, right? And say, well,
yes,
you know,
thank you. Thank you, brother. Let's not waste time with negative people.
Yeah,
I want to thank you for listening, and you continue to listen and learn. Let's not waste our time on talking about negative people. We got better things to worry about, man.
Yeah, but the thing is that you're teaching the truth and nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
The information you get no other news media in giving out, and you enlighten people going on again. These people about their own wealth and their future.
I know how you're feeling, brother. I feel the same way.
People just get like a mockery, like a fool, they calling and talking all kind of nonsense. I don't know. Some people really need to wake up, you know. And if the only way to wake up, if something happen, I ain't wishing for it, but or the spill or something happen, people I realize how we ended up bad with certain things. Can't even catching themselves in this country.
That's right. We have no insurance. We have no insurance. And we have been speaking, and not a single one of your politicians saying a word.
That's what I'm saying. The dirty thing about it, these we put in charge of certain things that these people want you when it comes to election time. And for do the work we put them for do, these nonsense they're doing. And some people just sitting and going and put these people back in position and in power, and they just accepting the wrong, but they're doing it all as well. When we choose this one, we want this one, for we want this one, for do this, and this one will do, and they're seeing the wrong and knowing the wrong, and accepting these wrong, and them the self-portion up. And I've seen how these politicians got them until something naturally mentally wrong with some of these people in this country today. And it really need a wake-up call. The only guy could help, you know.
Things will change, brother. Things will change. Things have to change. Don't give up.
It will change. It will change sooner or later. It will change.
You got to change. You got to change, man. Trust me. You got to change. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you. Things got to change, my friend. Trust me, but I always said, unless you educate people and let them understand, you know, they will not know what they're speaking and what they're going out there for. You got to bring about a change. The leaders will be forced to bring about a change. We have to. You know, guys, this story is so simple, man. You know, what they're doing to us. You know, I try to break it down. We write it in the newspapers. And I also try to break it down. That's why I come on the radio, to make it simple, so the ordinary man can understand. We have to get people to understand. You know what I just said there? Let me put it a little more simple. You have a large water tank full with water. You agree with a man that every 100 gallon, he can give you 2 gallon. He been and buy 1 plastic bucket, which you have to pay for. Of course, the plastic bucket you got to dip the water with. The man come back with a bill for the same plastic bucket for $10,000. When you know the bucket only costs $300. Would you accept that bill? Would you accept that bill, Michaela? No. Well, it's that simple. The field development plan and those ships and those rigs out there, that's what basically they're doing to us. You understand? And we accepting it. You know? You don't know it's a bad deal. You don't know, Guyana don't know it's a bad deal. You would actually give away the isle for free. No. No, we will not do that. Especially when you know in a few weeks' time you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to make changes on the mistake you made. Instead, the man giving you 2% of the oil, in time to come, you will have the opportunity to correct it, in which you could ask for 50%. And you can also demand your taxes. But would you do that?
Any smart person would.
Anybody. You don't gotta go to school to learn that. But you ain't gonna allow the man to buy more plastic bucket for $10,000.
Definitely not.
For fetch out your water before time. No. No, you would allow him with the one that he done smart you with. And buy time until the contract ends, and you said no. Well, now come sit down and let's talk.
Time to renegotiate.
You understand? But them accepting everything with the oil companies, and I sometimes want to know what kind of monkey business going on in this land. You know, you're going to allow Exxon to come with 10 more leaser for fetch out this thing overnight. So by the time the contract comes to an end, you can't, what are you renegotiating for? The isle done. And you're still left with hundreds of billions of cost. And the people pick up their ships and they go on with it. No, we should not allow this. We should not allow this. You know, when them done with we, is the pennies we gonna left with. And guess what? Them gonna walk away with everything. And them gonna live a lavish life. Them gonna left we drinking bush rum. And maybe bush tea. While them gonna be drinking champagne and red wine. And laughing at these fools in Guyana. All of us. That's what is taking place. That's what is happening.
Definitely.
Let me hear. I want the calls.
We don't have any calls on the right now, but let me just repeat the numbers: 226-7453, and you can text 622-2222. Nothing as yet.
You know, you want to say something?
Yes. Then I would say, can't we, the Guyanese people, demand that our leaders fight for us like the leaders in Suriname?
Well, I have been trying to do that every single program I have here.
Well, I know.
I am actually pleading with the leaders to come out and say something.
Definitely.
To refute anything we say.
They can't. This truth is the truth, Glenn. They cannot do it.
You know, I want to believe, you know, when you tie a deal with somebody, and people tie you up, I want to believe our leaders continue begging. We should be the one that lending a helping hand for COVID right now as we speak. You know, I believe if we get a slightly better deal, a 10% royalty alone, we don't need no profit. We need no profit. Give us 10% royalty. And trust me, Guyana, all the public servants, all the police, the nurses, the teachers, the doctors, the cleaners, the sweepers, every single one of the workers in this land, the pensioners, all their salaries can be tripled tomorrow morning if we only get 10% royalty from these oil. If we only get our fair share in our bauxite and gold, if you add that, you guys are entitled to 4 times your salary that you're working for now. I just want to end by telling you that.
Okay.
Any telephone calls?
No, we have no telephone calls, but we are cutting down to tonight, the ending of tonight's program. But before we go, I just want to ask you this question, Mr. Lall. It's from
Yes.
our Facebook Live. Why are you so interested in the oil? Somebody asked that.
Why would somebody
Yeah.
that person is asking? Could I reverse that question to the person? Should I ask that person why they interested in them bank book? Come on, guys. Our oil and every resources is not only our bank book, our bank account. It's our future and that of future generations. That individual needs to know he or she is your bank book I'm looking after. I'm looking after the salaries of the Guyanese people, including you, in which you can have your salary triple or quadruple if we only get 10% royalty and no profit. We don't need no profit.
You're also looking out for the future children, for our children's future. That's a
Oh my
stupid
God.
question. If they don't realize that oil belongs to every citizen of
No,
Guyana,
they don't. No.
They
The
don't realize.
person doesn't understand that the oil belongs to them.
Yes.
Guys, the oil belongs to all of us, man.
Every single Guyanese.
Everyone of a baby that born, an equal share belong to the baby. If you got 10 baby in the house, 10 baby gonna get 10 share. That's what our goal is, our diamond or our bauxite. We are entitled to that. The Creator has blessed us with that. And we should not sit back and allow anybody to come and rape and rob us of that. If we do that, we are allowing people to. It's like allowing people to come in your home, kick down. This is worse than kick down door. Kick down your door, empty your wardrobe, carry away your TV, your VCR, and every single piece of jewelry. That is what we are sitting back, allowing quietly to happen to us. And that's what I'm saying. We cannot do that. I don't need to come on this radio to tell you guys to fight this fight. I'm a blessed human being. I tell my staff that I think I am one of the most blessed human beings we have in Guyana. That's how I feel. I don't need much in life. My bread, my Creator has buttered and put nut butter and cheese on it. I am here to let you guys know and let us fight together for all of us. We have too many poor people living in this land.
Definitely.
Thousands, if I don't lie, half of Guyana population can barely eat a bread when the day come. And that's what I'm here for. That's what the Kaieteur News have been fighting for all its 26 years. To bring about a better life for all, for every one of us. Go ahead.
We have no caller on
Come
the.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just came in. I had left Michaela here because I wanted to finish the story. But I came in and I heard what you guys were talking about. And, Mr. Lall, sometimes I am disappointed by the response we get sometimes.
No,
because
don't do that.
It's ignorance. It's ignorance.
No.
They
When
don't.
people don't understand, it's our job.
It's our job
let
to make them
know.
No, that's not my qualm. My qualm is not understanding. But I think Kaieteur News has done a great job giving people the news and helping people understand it. And I remember when we were covering the election, we did an extremely great job, and there was so much praise being heaped on us for how we helped to keep our democracy stable. And I see a lot of the same people now telling us that we're being negative when we're calling accountable to the issue of the oil sector. Look, I just wanted to say, I understand there are people who are enamored with the vice president and their constituents, but still we have to have people to hold them accountable.
Yes.
Definitely.
What would happen if Kaieteur News was not here holding the PPP accountable? They would be left to do whatever they want to do. There is no other media house that is standing up to the government the way Kaieteur News is standing up. And let me tell you something. The opposition, the APNU, AFC, they're supposed to be doing what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But what are they doing? They're putting on theatrics and charades and wasting people's time. And they're not mounting a proper opposition to the PPP. Look, the other day when they had parliament, they allowed the PPP to pass the budget with little scrutiny while they were mamagiving all over the place. So you really have to ask yourself, the opposition is not going to do their job and be the opposition, so somebody needs to hold the government accountable, and that's what we're trying to do. We are not opposed to, we're not just negative for the sake of being negative. Kaieteur News recognizes when good is done. We recognize when Dr. Vincent Adams stood up to ExxonMobil, and we thanked him for it. We recognize when the Vice President, Dr. Barajagdio, said that ExxonMobil, its threats to leave would not intimidate him. Those are things that we like to hear. And we recognize when the good is done, and we report it. So it's not all negative at Kaieteur News. Maybe the numerous negative reports, they're coming from a place of dissatisfaction with the fact that there is not a lot of positive that the government and the opposition is doing for the people with regards to this oil and gas sector. There is a lot more we need in terms of transparency and in terms of the management of this sector. What we want to see is people show the political will and the courage to stand up to these oil companies, because we are worried with the situation that we're in right now. Are we going to get anywhere? Are we going to become the Dubai, the Kuwait of the 21st century?
Correct.
Thank you for that, Kemal. We do not have any caller on the line, but we are cutting down to the ending of tonight's show. So before we go, I'd like to ask Mr. Lall for his closing comments.
Thank you. I just want all the listeners to understand that we are not here to fight with the politicians. We are not here to fight the PPP or the PNC. We are here as individuals and independent people who just want the best for all of you out there. We don't need anything. But of course, if Guyana gets something, all of us will get something.
Definitely.
I just want you guys to continue listening and understand what the role we are playing here. We don't need anything. We just want our fair share. We don't need anything from ExxonMobil or any oil companies. We want our fair share of our wealth, our resources, our bank accounts. Good night, and God bless all of you.
Advisory. Major planned maintenance on Saturday, March 6, 2021 on the east bank of Demerara